And this is Vicki again. So this video, I wanted to go back to acquisition gains. I know, let's see, this is January 28th. Vula should be there working with y'all. So hopefully you don't need this video anymore by the time she's gone. But I know when we were there before and ran some samples, Steve looked at the data and he said that some of the gains looked like they were too high and he wanted me to bring those down. And I was working on that when we had to leave and I never quite finished and saved that for y'all. So what he means is, like on this one, I ran a sample today and looking at the HLADR PC7, you can see that it goes up here and it looks like it might be cutting some of it off. So that he decided is too bright. So I know he wanted the PC7 brought down. I think maybe the PC5 as well. So what we can do is I'm going to come here and we'll click on this plus tube. That way it copies that same tube with the same acquisition settings. And we're going to say, let's see, let's wait to name it first. I'm going to open the acquisition setting menu. So over here, so I'm going to take that sample tube 4 and rerun it. And you can either use the hand to bring that gain down, or you could manually type it in here if you want. So I'm going to hit run, and then we're going to just use the little hand tool. Okay, but you can see here how it starts the values, and we're going to be adjusting this YPC7, and you see that's at 1,952, which is quite high. So let's see if we can change that some. Okay, so I've hit run. Oops, sorry, my bad. And on this, I noticed the CD45 looks like it's maybe a little bit high as well. So let's come click our hand with the G. Okay, and I want to bring this left click and drag it down just a little till it's at about 10 to the 5th. So there's that. Okay, and then we want to do the same over here with our DR. Okay, so we're gonna just, our hand is still there. Left click and drag it down a little bit. Okay, still kind of high, so let's drag it down again. Okay, and you see there's a line here now, diagonal. When you adjust gains, it also will affect your compensation value some. It still looks pretty high, so let's go a little bit more. Oops, that's too much probably, so let's hit this. Oh, we can't undo. What we can do though is just go up a little bit instead. Okay, and let's go out here and click outside the histogram to release it. And let's adjust this here a little bit. There's that. Okay. Still looks like maybe we're cutting some off. Bring it just a little bit more. Okay, and so over here now you see our PC7 gain has gone from over 1,000 to 378. Quite a difference. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, let's hit record. We'll record just a few events of it. We can adjust these. Again, you don't have to now. You can adjust it when you do the formal analysis. And we can hit stop. Alright, and now that it's done, I'm going to put under sample ID that this is PC7 and now it's at 378. Okay, so that way we can load that file up into our analysis and see if it looks better. You could also run that tube again and put it at a slightly different gain setting. You could maybe adjust this up or down by 10 or 20 and then again save that, you know, whichever gain you changed and at what setting it is. And then you can look at the different files and see which one has the better gain. Okay, So if you like that, then how you would save it is you could come here. So we still have that same tube selected. These are our new acquisition gains. Okay, and our ECD also went down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to click export to file, to catalog, sorry. And we're going to name it, let's see, for us I do 5C Jura clone. I'm going to put 5C Jura, new PC7 gain. Okay, and that way I know which one I want to apply later when I run a new sample. So we'll click OK there. So we can close that out. Now you can come up here, let's see, cytometer, and then acquisition setting catalog. Oops, let's make that bigger. And so there's our new acquisition gains that we just saved. Okay, so now we can close that. We can do file, close experiment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit yes to save this just in case. Okay, so now if we wanted to do a new experiment from template, okay, we could name it. I'm just going to leave it as, let's see, PB733 rerun or repeat or whatever you want to call it. Okay, save. And it should show up here in a minute, and then browse and open your template. Click OK. Okay, so now down here, let's see, the comps should be good. Oops, I don't. Got import from library. Okay, I'm gonna add, let's see, nope. It's on those comps that I ran on the 17th, so that's good. I'm gonna leave them there. Close that. But now I want to change the acquisition setting on this template. So come up here to acquisition setting. So I'm going to import now from the catalog. I'm going to make the item column bigger. Okay, and I want to click this one, 5C Jira clone new PC7 gain. Okay, so I'm going to import that. It's showing me what's being modified. So click OK and close that. And then just to make sure, I'm going to do, so apply acquisition settings to all the tubes. For some reason, my tube 3 is not showing up there. So what we'll do here is just, well, let's go ahead and, okay, that's the correct settings. What about down here? Acquisition. Okay, those are even more different. So I'm going to do import from catalog, the same thing, click those, import. It's changing a lot. I must have mixed and matched templates at some point. Okay, and then that's the correct one. Okay, so now all 4 tubes have the correct acquisition settings in there and the right compensation that I want. So what I'm also going to do real quick, so I don't have to remember to change that every time, is I'm going to go back and do File, Save as Template, and then I can find that original one and click on it and save. Okay, it's telling me it already exists. Do I want to replace it? I'm going to click Yes. So now it should save the template with these acquisition gains. I typically check every time I run one anyway to be sure. It's really important again to make sure whatever acquisition settings you use on this first tube, or whatever tube you run first, you can run these in any order, make sure you use the same acquisition settings for each tube in the experiment. And really, again, you should be using those once you discover the optimal settings. It's not something you change from case to case or day to day or anything like that. You would only have to change your acquisition settings if there's any kind of major maintenance done on the instrument. like maybe they put a new laser in or a new configuration, then you're going to want to revisit and change your acquisition gain settings. Otherwise, as soon as your hematopathologist is happy with how the populations look, where they're at, don't mess with your gain settings. All right? I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you're doing great. Talk to you later.